Alright, so this is going to be a video on the Season 19 Valor Crusader Fist of the Heavens build. I know that the Valor Fury build is all the rage and it's topping the leaderboards. I just don't particularly enjoy the playstyle of that build. Um, it's it's just not my favorite. So I have combined sort of the Fury build with the speed build and sort of changed some items in the cube. And this build actually, I just cleared a level 90 grift in like just over 5 minutes, and my gear is trash. I have one augment. Um, this build is capable of so much more. So let me just go through the skills first. Obviously, Fist of the Heavens Fissure is going to be your primary. Just going to be spamming that the entire time. I have Seed Charge Draw and Quarter as my right click. Akarat Champion Profit is key. You're going to stack cooldown reduction on essentially every piece of gear that you can, so that you can have 100% uptime on Akarat's Champion. All right, so Shield Glare Divine Verdict is going to be part of what procs your Bane of the Trapped, and Laws of Valor, Unstoppable Force, and Iron Skin, Steel Skin are both toughness buffs. Uh, all right, and then Heavenly Strength allows you to yield a two-handed weapon and also have a shield. Holy Cause is just a straight damage buff. Long Arm of the Law is just increasing your Laws of Valor toughness buff, and Finery is again a straight damage buff. So let's look at the gear. I will post a build guide that in the comments here that has a Diablo fans build that shows the actual gear you should try to get, as far as the gear slot and the gear stat priorities. For example, uh, I would not use an Ouroboros. I would use a Flavor of Time amulet, but I haven't found a good one yet, and I found this Primal Ouroboros, so I've been using that. Um, and um, and my Nemesis Bracers is just a personal choice. I guess you could use Ancient Parthian Defenders if you'd like. I just like having an elite pack pop every time I click a shrine or a pylon or whatever. So this is the 5 pieces of the Valor set. We'll have a Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube, so we get the 6-piece bonus. Also, 2 pieces of Captain Crimson's set, which is just a cooldown reduction. Buffs your damage, and we're stacking cooldown reduction on everything. So we're going to have cooldown reduction on our shoulders, our gloves, our weapon, our uh, shield, at least one of the rings, potentially both. So that is buffing damage big time because we're stacking cooldown everywhere. And then obviously this ring, Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, is all about cooldown reduction. So we're putting diamonds in everything because this build is squishy. I mean, it is a glass cannon. So there may be, put some comments for me on toughness buffs for this build. So again, I have 3 pieces of ancient gear, one augment. It's not even a high level augment, and I just walked through a level 90 grift. So it's pretty good. Let's look at the cube real quick. Here, this is what causes massive damage increase, and it allows us to do two bolts essentially from the skill instead of one. In the Diablo fans build, this isn't even an option. You can't choose this, so I wrote it in the comments. But also a damage buff for Fist of the Heavens, and then we already discussed the Ring of Royal Grandeur. So um, I'll just do a quick 90 grift, and I'll show you how powerful this build is. I mean, it literally will just decimate. I've got 660 Paragon levels. I've got crappy gear, and this build, it just destroys. So let's find some elite packs here. Again, it's squishy, so that's why I use the Zay's Son of Vengeance. Is I'm trying to generally attack from as far away as possible, like the very edge of the screen. As you can see, here's my first elite, and I'm gonna like kill him from the edge of the screen. I discussed Bane of the Trap. I'm using that. Right now, I'm using Bane of the Powerful because I'm still low level. Eventually, when I really start to push grifts, I will switch to Bane of the Stricken. Pardon me. But for now, Bane of the Powerful still works. I don't have a whole lot of issues with the Rift Guardian killing right now. This build is actually not bad as far as single target damage. I mean, it's not like other. Oh, dead. See, there's the glass cannon that I was talking about. Uh, it doesn't struggle the way some other builds do with, being the Rift Guardian killer. So it does struggle with taking damage, obviously. Sometimes I'm lazy with making sure my iron skin is up and my Akarat's Prophet is always getting clicked. So, but you can see here. I mean, I'm way ahead of the grift timer here. That was a good map, of course. So feel free, guys, to put any comments in that you think could potentially buff toughness, or if you disagree with any of my gear choices. I know there's probably other weapon and shield combos that I can use. I didn't really discuss that. It's the speed build choice, but I like the fact that I get a damage buff from my steed charge. So like right before big elite packs or right before the Rift Guardian, I'll pop my steed charge, and that gives me a damage buff. So, and again, I just personally I think it speeds up grifts having the Nemesis bracers on. I think our Ancient Parthon Defenders probably might be a better choice. It'll give us another proc on our Bane of the Trapped. Again, this is just a sort of I made this build up as I went along this season because I just didn't like the Fury build personally. So again, open to any comments you may have, as long as they're not nasty. Here we go. Almost got the Rift Guardian here. And also that the Fury build that I was working off of, Bloodshed's Fury build, which big props out to Blood. He's the reason I started creating content, him and Riker. But there's no mobility skill, so you're just walking. So because you're using Fury on your right click, you're losing the steed charge, and I don't know, it just slows things down quite a bit. Hello. Okay. Now I'm sure he's pushing into the 120s, 130s with 1600 Paragon levels. Um, I don't have that kind of time. Oh dear, that was just a player error. I don't have that kind of time to play this game. I have a full time job, and props to him for being able to play video games for a living. But I'm just never going to be able to push a build like that. I think the best I ever did was 1200 Paragon levels in a season, and I cleared 102. This was back before the major power sweep that happened in, like, what was it, season 14 or season 13, where they just buffed every build. And now even crappy builds can clear a 90 with a little bit of effort. So here's the Rift Guardian. Steed charge and there you go, 6 minutes with a death and a bad map. So if if you're willing, so you can see here's my gems. I don't even have my Zays up. I was using a pain enhancer, and I just thought, you know what, a Zays would be better. So I used my pain enhancer to add this Caldeson's Despair buff here. So that's it. That's the build. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them. Again, if you have any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments, both the YouTube and the Diablo fans build. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and like it, share it, subscribe for more content. Thank you.